this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. We are here for another one of our mass making sessions, and as you can see, I'm here with my huge pile of scraps. I mean, it's just kind of growing by the day. And yeah, what I thought we could do is make some of those little paper ruffles. They're really super fun. I think I made some before on one of my kind of using up, you know, the pile videos. As you can see, I clearly didn't do a very good job of using up the pile. But I thought that they would be quite a good one for a mass make. So I'm just going to kind of move this out the way so it's not just taking over the entire space. And I mean, again, like with all these mass makes, they're nothing complicated or anything at all. So, you know, hopefully they're going to be nice and accessible for everybody. So it probably helps if you've got sort of slightly bigger scraps, although having said that, these are going to be great for any size of paper because of course your ruffles can be, you know, as big or as small as you need. So I'm just going to take kind of this one in the first instance. Now, I'm wondering, and I haven't tried this, whether a super efficient way of doing this would be to actually keep it in its large kind of form that it's in now, and then kind of concertina it up and then cut it down into strips. I'm just wondering whether that would be a good method. I mean, I haven't tried it, but I just wonder. So first thing I'm going to do is just tear this edge off because I don't really like the, you know, the white edge showing. And then all I'm going to do is get kind of folding this over. So let me just work out what I'm actually doing. Okay, yeah. So I'm just going to kind of fold it in. Now, again, with these kind of little ruffles, you know, you're really not kind of worried at all about how, you know, precise that they're going to be or anything else. You're just, you know, the whole point is just to get a whole line of, you know, ruffledy bits of paper, really. So, I mean, for instance, that, as you can see, I mean, that's not the longest ruffle, which is why I said it's, you know, possibly going to be better if you've got more, you know, slightly longer scraps, really. But, you know, like I say, if you wanted to kind of make them slightly smaller, I mean, I've probably tucked my paper in quite a bit, made quite big folds. You can just kind of vary them around. Now, what I'm going to do to make life a little bit easier is just squash it down with my bone folder, and that will just stop it kind of coming, you know, up too much. Now, again, what I'm wondering, and I don't know whether this is going to work, I'm wondering whether I could literally take it in this piece here to my sewing machine and just stitch down, say, 3 or 4 lines, and then chop this into strips, if you see what I mean. I'm hoping that that's going to work, so I'm going to leave it like that. And again, I would obviously trim off the edges. So I'm going to just leave it like that, and I'm going to do a few of them. So, well, perhaps I should do one just to kind of show you what we're doing for anyone who obviously hasn't seen these before. So again, I'm just going to tear this little strip off here where it's not kind of right up to the edge. And I might as well do this side here as well. Okay. And what I'll do is try it again in this method of using the big sort of sheet of paper. So again, just going to kind of start myself off there with a little fold here. And then just kind of concertina my paper over like that. And, you know, I mean, I kind of almost think the more, what's the word? I don't know. The more scruffy these are, the nicer they look. So, you know, don't feel that you have to have all of your folds the same fatness or, you know, anything like that. I think they're going to look nicer, kind of being more roughed up. So what I'll do, I'm going to take this across to my sewing machine and just kind of stitch down, and we'll just see if this method works. But also, for those people who don't have a sewing machine, I'm going to make a couple, obviously, just stapling them. Just so that you can obviously, you know, do this as well. I mean, I haven't tried gluing them. You probably could just kind of like dab down bits of glue in your little folds. I mean, personally, I'm not sure whether I would find that a little bit fiddly. But I think the staples would work absolutely brilliantly. So I'm going to just take you across to the sewing machine, and then we can come back to the desk and we will kind of just fold a whole bunch that then I will sew or staple a bit later. So hold on. Okay, so we've got our little zigzag stitches there. And so now obviously it's up to you whether you tear or cut, but I'm just going to kind of cut it here, just like that. And again, you know, you can kind of shape your papers. You don't have to have them straight. In fact, I think they look better, kind of a little bit curved. And then just in here, again. So, I mean, that's worked pretty well for that one, to be honest. Hopefully you guys can see that. And, you know, if I want to take it down and make it a little bit narrower, then, of course, just cut it down like that. So it's really cute, isn't it? And then I'll just go in the middle of these two. And again, just kind of like can shape it round like that. So, I mean, I love that one with the torn edges. I don't know whether I would make a very good job of tearing them. Shall we have a go at tearing one? I mean, because obviously I've got the, you know, the folded edges, so I'm not sure how it's going to go, but let's give it a try. So we just kind of tear down along. I mean, it is quite fiddly because it's quite tiny now, but there. So, I mean, that's not too bad, is it? And actually this one, the one I did just now, obviously, as you can see, it's got a torn edge and a straight edge. Well, personally, I think that looks quite nice. So, I mean, you could, if you know, haven't got enough room to be able to get into both sides, you could always do that kind of thing where you have a torn edge and a straight edge. But we'll just see. Obviously, this is now going into the folds, which is actually a lot more tricky. Perhaps I should come down that way. Oh, this is like left-handed, so I'm not making a very good job of this. Right, I'm going to have to, oh no, I'm going to have to kind of go against the paper, I think, so. Right, so not made a great job of this one, to be honest. You know, it's worth playing around and seeing how you do it best. Oops, now my nail varnish is kind of coming off onto the thing. Like that. I mean, that's absolutely fine. So really super quick and easy. And, you know, that method actually of doing them as a great big chunk of paper is pretty, you know, pretty fast and pretty easy actually. So I think that's, you know, quite a good way to do them and quite a little, you know, as my kids would say, a good hack there. So yeah, definitely I would recommend doing them that way. So I'm going to just kind of make a bunch like that. But just before I do, I'll just do one or two stapled, you know, for those guys who haven't got a sewing machine. So this one here, for instance, I will just go down like that. Okay, and then all you're going, actually, I'm just going to, yeah, I'm just going to tear it down on this edge as well. So I've got two raggedy edges. Okay, oops. Wow, that's just awful, isn't it? Awful tearing there. But never mind, especially that bit, look. Oh well, never mind. So all we're going to do is, again, just ruffle it in, you know, and making them kind of however you want to make them, as big or as small as you like. And then, now I'm going to be using my Tim Holtz tiny attacher stapler, but I mean, obviously, if you haven't got one of these, you know, you can just use any stapler. So you're just going to go in and staple that down. I mean, obviously, I'm wondering whether you could kind of be a bit clever so you didn't have to use quite so many staples. I mean, not from an economizing point of view, but just so you didn't have a whole big row of staples. You know, you could possibly kind of try and be clever and get across two of the creases there. But I mean, if you didn't, like here now, what I could do is I can just go in with my, oops, I'll just use my hot glue because it's here. And then you could just go in like that at the back. Like that. And kind of squish them down there. So, you know, you have got options, and by, you know, no means do you need to have a sewing machine for this. They're going to work just as brilliantly with staples. And actually, you know, having just tried my hot glue, let's go down here. In fact, I'm going to just trim this off because I made such a terrible job of that whole, you know, like little mouse bites going down there, as somebody had said to me once. So you can go in like with your creases. Again, you know, I quite like doing them sort of a bit more curvedy looking. So just play around and, you know, find what suits you best. Like that. And then let's just give this a try. If we just put a little dob of glue, and the reason I'm doing this with the hot glue is I just thought actually that worked so brilliantly on that one just now, because of course hot glue is kind of instant. So you're not going to have that situation of having to wait for it all to dry. It's just going to, you know, dry absolutely instantly, which is going to be a lot quicker. So there you go. And then of course you could then just, you know, glue that down on your page and it, you know, wouldn't be going anywhere. Obviously you can see it's kind of curling up. I thought perhaps that would be genius to kind of do the back of it, but I think you are going to have to go in quite a few times on the front of it as well. But if you have got a hot glue gun, you know, this is certainly quite a quick way of doing it compared to using some, you know, wet glue or something where you're going to have to be, you know, potentially getting a bit more messy and waiting for it to dry. So yeah, I would definitely recommend, if you've got a hot glue gun, you know, and you don't like the staples kind of showing, so you don't really want to do the staple method, and, you know, you haven't got a sewing machine, just do them like this. And again, then, I mean, I do quite like mine kind of being a bit more shaped, so we can go round there like that. Again, just shaping it. And then you could probably, you know, just rough the edges up for a bit more texture if you wanted to afterwards. So like that. And that's going to, oops, let me just pop a little bit more glue there. That's going to give a really nice little piece that you could just, you know, edge your pages off with, edge your pockets off with, and it's, you know, it's pretty flat. So it's not really going to bulk your journal out at all, but it is going to look super, super pretty. So yeah, I think there's quite a few different ways that you can be doing these, whether you're using glue or whether you're using staples or whether you're stitching. They're going to be just, you know, quite versatile for altering around. And like I say, you could make them as big or as small as you like. So let's get kind of crafting and doing a few. So hold on a moment. Okay, sorry about that. My daughter just came up wanting to show me something. She had been downstairs tidying her room, and you could use your tear ruler actually to tear them down if you wanted to get them a bit straighter. So I'm just going to kind of go in the same vein doing the you know, folding on a larger piece of paper, because hopefully that's going to be quite a good way of doing it. I'll just start it off, yep, around here. Yeah, she was downstairs, yeah, downstairs, tidying her room, would you believe? So, wow. Yep, I have to say it was a pigsty. So, yeah, she was horrified when I said that she was going to have to tidy it, and kind of said, what? How am I going to do that on my own? I said, well, you know, you are 7 now, and you're quite a big girl, really. You can really, you know, tidy your room, can't you? It's not kind of too much to ask. So, yeah, she was very pleased with herself for the effort she made and wanted to obviously show me. I mean, obviously, whether it was tidy to kind of our adults' standards or not is kind of debatable. But having said that, you know, she did do, you know, a pretty good job. Because, I mean, a bit like me, really, tidying is not her thing. So, yeah, she didn't do too bad. But having said that, she did have a lot of stuff. She's got quite a big windowsill. Because, yeah, she's got quite a big windowsill, and she therefore likes to just kind of sling stuff on the windowsill. So there were a lot of clothes and things on that windowsill, which I just kind of said to her, well, you know, you've done brilliant, but, you know, perhaps you could just add those clothes into the equation. So, yeah, she's back down there again, tidying up the clothes that had been chucked on the windowsill. She hadn't chucked them on there just now as part of the tidy up. They had already been on the windowsill, obviously, for some time. So, yeah. She's back already. So, and this is a mere couple of minutes. Since I've been down there. So, I wonder what happened to all those clothes. Where did you put all them clothes, darling?
In my drawer.
In your drawers?
My drawers are really full, so I put them in my thing.
On hangers? Maybe go back and pop them on their hangers, because otherwise they're just going to look like the rag bag, aren't they, when you put them on? Good girl, sweetheart. Yeah, hangers clearly do not feature. So, obviously I did not look in her wardrobe when she just had called me down before. So, I suspect that she just had kind of chucked everything into her wardrobe. Don't get me wrong, that's still preferable to seeing it all over her floor. But, yeah, she needs to master the, let's use some hangers here, you know. So these were actually from thicker paper. So, you know, they're kind of, they're still laying perfectly flat, as you can see. But just to kind of demonstrate, really, that, you know, they don't have to always be from really flimsy paper. You can get away with it. I mean, probably not cardboard as such, but, you know, these are quite thick paper. And again, you know, I quite like them with the bit of a roughed up edge because it just makes them look a little bit more textury like that. And that one, actually, you can barely even see the staples. Well, you can't hear, whether or not you can on camera. And perhaps you can, and you're all thinking, what's she talking about? We can really see the staples. But yeah, I couldn't really see the staples, to be honest. Okay, right. So I've got like a few here just from where I've been, again, printing printables and things, trying to get them right. And yeah, so they've got kind of bits on the back, so they're quite a good way to use up things like that. And what I'm going to do is just do these as really long ones, like that. And then, you know, when I come to use these, I mean, I could either obviously keep them as really long, or could obviously just trim them down or chop them down as much smaller ones. So, you know, you've got good options here, I think. So I mean, these aren't really scraps per se, but having said that, they kind of are, because they're, you know, where I've been making the printables and things, and you know, printing out on the back of old other things. So okay. Oh my gosh, made a hideous job of that. I don't know quite what happened at the bottom, but I'm going to kind of leave it like that because I quite like that sort of eclecticness of it. Now, for some reason, I mean, that, even though I used an entire A4 length of page, well, I guess I did. Did I do that on those early ones? I don't know. So again, what I might do is just do a couple with the staple, and then a couple, you know, on the sewing machine. So again, we can just tear that one down. Try anyway. Oh, good girl, sweetie. Mummy will come down and have a look in a second, okay? Okay, so I shall have to go and have a look a moment and see how she's got on. So, I mean, that one actually, I've obviously torn that down way too small, but again, it's quite cute, isn't it? So, yeah, I quite like how that looks. So that's another one there. So again, got some more here, you know, that are those entire sheets where, whoops, entire sheets where I've been printing out, you know, printables and things. So, you know, might as well just go in with those. Okie dokie. So I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you're all having a really good day. Oh, it was very, very chilly here at the weekend, I must say. We had a couple of really nice days. Well, Friday and Saturday, actually, they were both quite nice days. Friday was absolutely gorgeous. Saturday, it was quite nice, but not quite so good. And it was a bit colder. sorry, I'm making a bit of a hash of folding this one. Yesterday, it was okay. Nothing kind of here nor there, really. It wasn't really bright. It wasn't really drab. It did rain a few times, but not, you know, not kind of continually. Although, having said that, I think we were very lucky down where I am, because I think a lot of the country had a lot of snow yesterday. But yeah, so it was very, very, very cold. Even though we didn't have the snow, it felt freezing, I must say. Very, very cold. There we go. So again, I can just take that over to the sewing machine and just stitch that straight down to make a few. So, you know, they're quite an efficient way of doing it, aren't they? Doing them in that entire piece like that. So I've got some sheet music. Yep, I've got some sheet music here. So again, we could just go with our sheet music. I will come down, sweetheart. I'm just quickly doing this, yeah? I haven't forgotten. I'm excited to see how you've done. Have you done well? Yeah? Okay. Oh, gorgeous. She's made some other colours with her clay. Nearly called it Play-Doh. It's not Play-Doh.
Kind of looks like
Come on then, show. Yep. Oh,
it's
pretty,
like
pretty.
Pink.
It is like a lovely pink.
It's kind
Yeah.
of like your nails.
It is a bit, yeah.
Well, I think it's
Nicer colour, really. Yeah. So that's one with sheet music. So again, looks really gorgeous. Do you like that one?
Yeah.
Pretty, huh? I love that sheet music too. And again, you know, of course you could use book pages and things like that for them. So, you know, you've got lots of different things that you could do with these. There were some of the other scraps that I had here. And I have a massive apology to make. For some reason, my uploading of my video on Sunday night, so would have been kind of going up Sunday night / Saturday morning, Sunday night / Monday morning. I really apologise. I'm not really too sure how it happened, but for some reason I ended up not scheduling it. I had gone on, you know, anyone who's got kind of a channel, you'll sort of know what I'm talking about. Actually, I'm going to do it, I think, this way. You'll know what I'm talking about is you go on to schedule your, you know, your videos, and it's in just like YouTube, and then there's this thing called YouTube Studio, and you know, you can kind of fill in your video details and all that. So obviously I had gone on, filled in my video details, changed the thumbnail and all those kinds of things, and then I would normally schedule it, and I honestly thought that I had scheduled it. So whether I had and then for some reason didn't click save, you know, came out of it without clicking save, or whether I actually just missed the scheduling, I'm not really too sure. But I do apologise, because that meant that obviously what would normally have gone up on the, like I say, Sunday nights or Monday morning, depending on whereabouts you are watching from, obviously the video didn't go out at the normal time. So I do really apologise for that. Obviously, as soon as I woke up on Monday morning and, you know, checked kind of my iPad, I saw straight away that I hadn't, you know, it hadn't gone up, because my last video was still showing as the previous video. So I really apologise, everybody. Yeah, and like I say, I don't know quite what happened. It was probably, I suspect, me, you know, my error. But sometimes just technology just gets the better of me. So I'm very, very sorry. And yeah, do apologise, because I know that, you know, it's nice to kind of do things in our normal routine. And so, you know, people like to watch things at the same time. So I'm really, really sorry that that kind of did not happen. And yeah, I will try better in future. Like I say, I mean, I actually went on the Sunday night, you know, my time Sunday night kind of thing, how I normally do before going to bed, to fill out the details and all that stuff and schedule it. So in my head, I had scheduled it, but clearly I hadn't. So yeah, I do apologise. Very, very sorry about that. Okay. And thank you so much to everyone who's been watching my favourite projects revisited. I really enjoy everybody's lovely kind comments and things. I'm so pleased that you're enjoying it because, you know, of course, some people obviously didn't catch the projects first time round. Oops. Some of these scrapbook papers are a little bit on the thick side, so they don't kind of fold over quite so well as the thinner paper. Yeah, some people I realised didn't see the videos first time round, and so, you know, they're quite a useful revisit. And some people did see them, but, you know, like me, they've kind of forgotten what they've seen and what they haven't, because there's so many projects all the time going up on YouTube that we all want to kind of try. You know, I don't know about you, but I kind of see projects, and I don't know what's going on with me today. Clearly in one of those really hand-fisted mood, and not helped by the fact my daughter's now whispering in my ear saying "Mum, Mum," for me to go down and see her room. So yeah, I'm so sorry about my cat-handed folding. Right, there we go. So, oh, it's just shambolic today. Shambolic folding.
What's that mean?
Just a shambles. Right, okay. I'm going to just pop down and see her room, because then maybe I can concentrate without her saying, "Mum, Mum, Mum, Mum." Hold on, I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I'm back. So she had made a pretty good job of tidying up, I must say. Right, so any smaller scraps that I have, I'm just going to make just little, you know, little ones kind of as I go, like that. So, and I'm just going to staple these nice and quick and easy. Like that. Yeah, she's she can use hangers, which was good to know. Yeah, just had to kind of go down to see, because otherwise, you know what children are like, they're kind of "Mum, Mum, Mum, Mum." It was making it a little bit difficult to concentrate there for a minute. Right, so we've got these kind of like this. So what's everyone been watching? Have you been watching anything good? Any recommendations? My sons and I, so clearly not my daughter, definitely not suitable for her, we have been watching something called The Alienist. I bumped into a friend of mine the other day when I was taking my daughter out for a little bike ride, and my friend was, you know, out having a walk. So we had a socially distanced conversation kind of from across the pavement. And she recommended something called The Alienist, and it's on Netflix. I had never heard of it before, but she did say, you know, super gory kind of thing, you know, not for the faint-hearted. So, yeah, my sons and I have been watching that. It's very good, I have to say. I can't remember what the chap's name is, but he was Gaston in... Beauty and the Beast. Sorry, my daughter's back again. Hold on a second. Yeah, he's Gaston in Beauty and the Beast. He was, or is in it. He's quite handsome and, you know, quite easy on the eye. So, yeah, that was quite nice seeing him in there. And somebody else, I don't know who the other actor was, but, yeah, I didn't really recognise the other one. It is very, very gory. So, yeah, definitely, you know, if you don't like kind of gory type things, definitely not one to watch. But if you do quite like those types of things, it's really quite good. Set in kind of like Victorian New York. And there's 2 seasons. And I think kind of both the seasons are different, you know, different stories, but probably along the same lines, I suspect. So the first one is investigating like a serial killer of young boys who, yeah, I mean, just horrible, horrible killings of these young boys. And obviously we, you know, we haven't got to season 2, so I don't know what that one's about, but I would imagine something pretty similar. But yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know how far into it we are. I feel like we've watched quite a few, maybe like episode 6 or something like that. We've watched quite a few. I think they're 45 minutes for some reason. I don't know. They might be an hour, they might be 45 minutes, but we seem to have watched quite a few of them. Yeah, they're pretty good. So definitely that's one, you know, if you like things like that. Like I say, you know, it really is not for people who don't like that type of gory type stuff. But yeah, pretty good anyway. And that's kind of all we've been watching, really. I can't think of anything else much that we've watched. Yeah, can't really think of anything else that we've watched, to be honest. We're still obviously in a lockdown here, so, you know, not a great deal is going on. I mean, I have to be truthful and say that, to be honest, I do prefer the ones that I have made individually than the stitched ones. They've got a slightly more scruffy kind of look to them. But for speed, definitely these are fantastic. So, yeah, I mean, just kind of have a play around and see what suits you. I mean, these are better because obviously I've not squashed them down with the bone folder or anything like that. The squashing down with the bone folder, obviously I've done that to make it easier to sew them. You know, but yeah, just have a play around and kind of see, you know, see how you like them best. You know, if speed's not kind of an issue, then to be honest, you might prefer to do them individually. I mean, the other thing is stitching them on the sewing machine. Of course, it's kind of a bit safer and easier if it's in a big piece of paper. But for stapling, they're going to be just as easy, you know, in the small pieces of paper. In fact, they're probably, well, they're going to be easier, aren't they? You know. So that's that one. And then we will just do this last one here. Oh, looks like the sun is coming out now, so perhaps we're going to have a nice day again. Oh, I do hope so. I just love those cold, crisp days. I know I say it all the time, but they're definitely, you know, they make you feel so much better, don't they, when the sun's shining. Okie dokie. There we go. So again, just kind of take that one down. So yeah, I mean, they've got a bit more texture to them, definitely, if you've not done them kind of in, you know, in a strip on the sewing machine. But, you know, they are very easy to make that way. And I guess once you've done them on the sewing machine, for instance, this one, I mean, you could probably kind of, you know, fold them out a little bit so they've got a bit more texture again. And I mean, I obviously did this with a zigzag stitch, and they would maybe not be quite so flat if I did them with a straight stitch. So I'm going to go and stitch some of them. I don't know how long the video's been going for, because of course I've stopped it several times, but I'm going to go and just stitch a few of them, and then we'll come and just have a play around and see what we could do with these. Okay, so I'm back. Now, I haven't done them all. I've left one or two not stitched, so I'll just move the ones that I didn't stitch to one side for a moment, and then we'll just have a bit of a play around, and I'll kind of you know, just mention one or two things that I did try while I was at the sewing machine. So whilst I was at the sewing machine, I mean, obviously I've stitched, you know, a whole bunch of these, which, you know, I'm going to chop down. So that's those. But I also took one of the sheets and I started just tearing bits down and then stitching them, which, you know, I thought perhaps would be a bit dangerous because they're a little bit on the narrow side. But I mean, touch wood, if you keep your fingers out the way, you know, I was okay, and I'm pretty clumsy. So, you know, that worked quite well for me. And I mean, just to give you kind of an idea, that's those two. And that one was taken from here, if you see what I mean. So that worked quite well. And I thought, well, actually, probably the best method that I think is like a compromise of the folding whilst it's in one piece, and then tearing it down or cutting it down to the size that you want and then stitching it or stapling it. So I mean, if I just take another one now, just take that down like that, and then grab my stapler, oops, then we can just staple that down like that. And then you've got kind of the best of both worlds, because you've been pretty efficient from the, you know, the folding point of view, but you've also, you know, got a bit more life kind of thing in the stitching and the stapling. So, you know, just play around and kind of see how suits you best, really, I think. But they're really cute, aren't they? So let's bring in something to just decorate and show you how they would look. So I've got here just a book page pocket. This is one of those lovely Patricia Varimontes. You know, I would call these like her original book page pockets. So I absolutely love these pockets. And let's just decorate one up and use a ruffle here. So I love that one. So let's just have a look. What scraps have I got? Sorry, my scraps box is on the floor now. So, right, I'm back. So I've just got some paper that's kind of from the similar, you know, similar colours. So we'll just layer up a couple of pieces on here. Oops. Oh no, not glue problems again. I could do with obviously taking my glue nozzle off and washing it out again. I haven't had glue problems for a while, so it's probably high time. Okay. Obviously got like a big stringy kind of bit that needs pulling out, but you can never actually then get to those bits, can you, to unblock the bottle. Okay, so we just pop this one on here. Again, let's just press that down. What should we put on there? I'm just having a look on my desk to see, you know, do I have something that's just laying about that I could use? Well, I started a snippet roll, haven't finished it, so let's just bring that in. Well, didn't really get very far with this at all, you can probably tell. So, yeah, not really resembling a snippet roll at all, but it was one that I'd started ages ago. And then just, yeah, I never kind of quite got round to finishing it. Oops, I can hear my daughter laughing her head off downstairs. So Lord only knows what's going on down there. Oh, not a pink label. I thought that might have looked good on there, but no. My desk's such a tip. You know, if you watched my recent Tidy Friday, I did give you a little bit of a glimpse of my desk currently, which I mean, normally I find it quite inspiring having such a messy desk, but I've been working on a few different projects, you know, with videos, so they will be going up over the next couple of weeks, few weeks. But obviously, yeah, they've mounted in a lot of mess everywhere, so not really ideal, to be honest. Oh, why have I not finished that snippet roll? Because it would obviously be a lot better as a completed piece. That's a bit weird, but oh well. It's a bit weird, to be honest. Let's just see about a bit of lace here. I mean, everything's better with lace, isn't it, to be honest? Everything's better with lace. Right, let's just pop that there. Wonder if I could have I got any doily? Yep. Okie dokie. Just going to staple that like that, I think. That's quite pretty, isn't it? Yeah, let's kind of go for that. So I will ink this all up, so hopefully it's got a more, you know, cohesive kind of look to it. So I'll just ink this up first. Okay. Oops. Okay, and we'll just ink up the book page pocket. And maybe you guys have seen some of Barbara over at 49 Dragonflies. She's been doing her Pinterest series. I've got a series coming, which I know she was, you know, very kind and did mention, which I started filming, like, again, last year. And I think I did kind of say that what happened was then lots of seasonal kind of things came along. We had autumn, we had Halloween, we had Christmas. So everything kind of got shelved, and I've just got one more video left to film. But then my Pinterest series will be going up. So yeah, I mean, she's doing a lovely job, and, you know, got absolutely gorgeous projects. I saw her lovely one with the tag where it was a dragonfly tag, but she adapted it to a butterfly tag, and it looked awesome. And I mean, she and I have a very, very different style. I love her style so much. So yeah, if you haven't seen her video, then do go over there and check it out. My series will probably be going on in about February, sort of middle of February or something like that. So like I say, I actually have got one more episode left to film before mine can even go up. So but yeah, in the meantime, you know, you might really enjoy checking hers out. Okie dokie. Oh, how cute does that look? Yeah, really, really like that. So, I mean, really, you know, not a lot on here, but to be honest, sometimes they don't need a lot, do they? They just kind of look good without too much stuff. So really, really like the look of how this is with not too much stuff on there. Okay. And we could have that on there. Now, just see if we want any more lace. Because I just wondered, did we want some lace kind of coming out beneath the ruffle? Oh, well, that's just pointless, isn't it? Because it just covers up that complete street name that I've put on there. Could have it that side. Or we could have it like that. That's quite nice, isn't it? Okay, so I'm just going to pop that lace down. Oh, I'm just having another look outside, and I can see kind of a couple of trees from where I am. And yep, although it looks a lovely day, it looks really windy. Definitely not a day for a bike ride. Definitely not. I know I talk about it quite often, but honestly, it just never fails to amaze me. Sometimes it can look like the most, you know, non-windy day on the planet. And the second that you get on that bike, my God, it seems so windy. Might have a little flower on here as well. Whoa, dear. Crease that up completely. Yeah, I think just that little flower there looks quite pretty. Okay. I'll just see if I've got any more of those little flowers, because that one looks really good on there, doesn't it? I mean, obviously I have got more of those, but I mean, whether or not I've got them within grabbing distance. I don't want to kind of keep you here all day while I'm trying to hunt around for them. So, oh, come on. Not the easiest finding things at the moment because my desk's so messy. What's this one? Okay. You can just ink those up a little bit. Or perhaps down there. That's pretty, isn't it? So again, just going to hot glue that down because it's nice and quick. Like that. Oh, that's so pretty, isn't it? I love how that looks. Gorgeous. And yeah, let's kind of do a couple of other things with these as well to kind of give you a couple of other ideas. So as I say, I really don't know how long I've been filming for, but yeah, hopefully we've got time. And this was another thing that I did whilst I was at the sewing machine, actually, which I forgot to mention. I had some tracing paper still sat there from my tracing paper envelopes that I've done in my, you know, Projects Revisited video. So all I did was obviously, you know, cut off an end of some of the tracing paper and ruffled it up and then stitched through that just to kind of see how that would look. And that's that on the tracing paper. So works pretty well, doesn't it? And of course you've got that kind of nice texture and that nice sound now. So yeah, I think that's quite a nice, you know, nice way to use it as well. So let's just have a look and see what else we could do. Have a look and see. Got some labels here. I'll just ink that up. Okie dokie. You could even have like a little ruffle at the end of the label like that. Now I've got this key here, which this was in my lovely stamped items that Laura had sent me. So yeah, that might look quite nice. So, I mean, you really can kind of just mix these bits and pieces up. So let's just put that on there. Actually, I'll just glue that like that. And then just literally going to glue the key straight down the middle of that ruffle. Like that. So, I mean, there was literally nothing to that. But that's just then a complete, whoops, complete embellishment then on its own. I don't know whether it would look good with any lace, but hey, let's give it a try. Yeah, so I mean, you could just add then a little touch of lace to that, and that would just look so pretty just on a page, wouldn't it? And, you know, that took 2 seconds to obviously put that together. So you really can kind of easily create some pretty things. So I'll just quickly just glue that onto that lace, and I want the lace kind of a bit more wonky like that. Isn't that gorgeous? Love it. And then, oops, loved it until I pulled it off. Just going to kind of round that off a bit at the corner. Oops. Like that. Just so pretty, isn't it? So, I mean, you really can achieve quite a bit with these little paper ruffles. Some other little things. Just wondering about my little, these thingies. Don't know really what we called these, but. So again, if I just ink this up. Like that. Okay, then could have that on the end, and then you could obviously finish that off maybe with a button or a wax seal. I mean, that's not perfect, that button, but let's see whether I've got some other ones. Oh, that would be quite nice if only it didn't have that thingy. Let me try and cut that off and see whether that will work. Hold on. Right, well, it's not really kind of gone lump free. It's still got quite a big, you know, back on there. Yeah, it's kind of a bit too big still to go on there. Probably, you know, you guys probably have better techniques than me, so you've probably got a really fantastic way of getting these you know, these little things off in a clean way. Oh well, we'll just go with that. Wonder whether if I put it on that end, whether it would be kind of lumpy. No, I'm going to just, right, let's just stick this down. Like that. And then see whether we can... Okay, so not too bad. Like that. So again, really, really cute, you know, and that would just go like on the edge of a page. So let me just see whether I've got a journal here. Let me just pull in the journal and I will show you then how they would look on a page. So hold on. Okay, right, so you could just have that then on the edge of, oh, not in frame, sorry, I apologise for that. Let me move the camera slightly. And that's how that would look then, just on the corner of the page. Just so cute. And, you know, there's literally nothing to that. It's just that piece of ribbon, little button, and the paper ruffle, which that one's a stapled one. So, you know, super quick and easy, and just really pretty. And just to kind of show you then the other two that we did. This is the one with the label. So this is the vellum ruffle there. That's how that would look on a page. Absolutely lovely, isn't it? And then this one obviously is on that Patricia pocket. And that's how obviously that would look on the page. And you've just got the paper ruffle up there. So they're a really nice thing to just have some ready-made in your stash, I think. And, you know, quite a good way to use up some scraps and things. So, yeah, I hope that you have fun making some. And I would love to see what you kind of come up with to do with yours. I'm sure there's a ton of different things that are, you know, I haven't thought of. And a ton of different ways of doing them that I haven't thought of, I'm sure. So, yeah, thank you so much for joining me. And hopefully you guys all have a great day. And see you guys soon. Thanks, En. Bye.